Okay, increase again. Semua tak ada jawab dah. Penat penat ke? Penat duduk diam-diam tak payah cakap. We are now in week 7. Okay, time flies. We are in week 7. So therefore we are into these offices and industrial warehouses and stuff. Okay, so they are in the same category. Although in your lecture plan, lecture schedule, okay, it says it's only meant for officers, but when you read the books by Deborah and a few other books, they've actually lumped it in the same category. So I thought of adding in the industrial as well as warehouses. Okay, right. So that would be for today. And then tomorrow, 2:15, kita start lambat sikit lah. 2:15, 2:15. I'm gonna post you the questions in the WhatsApp as well as Google Classroom. So your answer will be one piece of paper only. Okay. If question 1 is A, then you put the A, B, C and whatnot. Okay. Ataupun kalau true false ke, true false and whatnot. I just need one piece of paper, then you can submit inside my Google Classroom. There's a folder for test 1. Okay, there's a folder for test 1. How do you normally do your test? Once you've done, do you actually go through the answer, or you tak rasa benda tu you nak tahu?
That time tak doktor.
Tak nak.
Bukan tak nak doktor, actually nak, tapi kadang-kadang lecture macam tak sempat nak buat.
Oh, sebab kita 1 hour je. Sebab kita 1 hour je. Doesn't really matter. I will give you the answer later. Okay, so you can check on your own. So at the same time, you will know your carry marks as well. I think by next week, the following week, week 8 tu, you dah tahu dah you punya carry mark for that 15%. Okay. In case you do not like it, then we do another test lah. Kalau tak suka nak buat macam mana kan, kita kena buat another test lah. Sepatutnya kena score lah kan, 15% tu kena score lah. Jangan tak score pula. Okay. Kalau you dapat 75 and above tu dah kira cantik lah kan. Kalau tak puas hati, tapi kalau dah puas hati doesn't really matter kan. Kalau 15 kali point kita 75. Maknanya kalau you dapat 11% tu dah 75%. Sebenarnya you dapat 75%. Okay? Alright. Any other things? Tak ada? Okay, you all penat. Okay, kita share. Let's go through the slides. Okay? Relax, duduk-duduk je. Relax, dah petang tahu. Nak masak awal lagi. So tak apa. Tunggu sekejap. Bajak lagi boleh masak. Yelah tu nak masak. Masak apa entah. Alright, you are into this office industrial development. If you realize kawan-kawan once you go through the market research for the residential, then you go to for the retail, then you are talking about these offices and industrial. Later you're going through the hotels and mixed development. Every market research analysis that you have gone through is actually very unique for that particular sector. So although the processes are the same, but the challenges might be different. You know, the types of information that you would require to do the market research would be different and stuff like that. So that's quite interesting when you are doing your market research. Okay, right. So what happened now is that when you are looking at these offices, offices, one of things that is so significant is the characteristic of the office itself. Okay, so each of the office building has its own characteristic. Okay, if you want to compare Apple with Apple, meaning that you need to understand their characteristic. Let's say you are talking about the apa nama ikon Malaysia? Apa nama dia? Allahu Akbar. Twin Tower. Sorry. Mind apa? Blank kejap. Okay, you're talking about the Twin Tower. Okay, Twin Tower. Of course, this is the super grade A kind of building, as compared to the one maybe you have one building that's been developed or built in sometimes in 1990s, you know, that cannot be a super grade A building. So this is what happened. So when you are looking at office building, you need to know first the characteristics of the building. Is it important? Very important. Because you've got the different location, different sizes, different features, different amenities and stuff like that. Okay, right. So what happened now is that when you are looking at this, the quality of the office building, you looked at things macam apa dia ada, you know, what sort of features ada dalam building tu, you know, and stuff like that. Okay, so in this particular slide, you will see that the build up of these offices varies from the 10,000 square feet to millions of square feet. Okay, of course, when you are talking about the CBD development as well as the suburban development, you will see a different categories altogether. Why? Because CBD might not have the so-called office park or it's just one building, you know, with no landscape and stuff like that. But when you're talking about suburban, they can offer such things. That's quite good in a way. Okay, so basically, again, you will have this unclear in regards of the distinction between your CBD development and your suburban development. Because some, if you were to look at, let's say, not to say suburban, it's still one of the urban center. Okay, let's say you're talking about Cyberjaya. Okay, and some of the Malaysian offices in Cyberjaya, they have this MSC status. Again, MSC status meaning that they have a different characteristic, extra characteristic towards that particular office building. Okay, so therefore, kita kata bahawa when you are talking about these offices, they've got several factors that will actually differentiate between one building and the other building. Okay, what is it? Is the classification, is the class, is the location, is the size, flexibility, use and ownership, features and amenities. Kawan-kawan, if you learn facilities management, or you learn property management, either way, okay, kalau you belajar these two, okay, there's one features that actually significance to offices. Okay, one, you are talking about flexibility and adaptability. Flexibility and adaptability, meaning that the old offices is very unflexible. Okay, you're talking about block by block by block by block. But in the current situation, whereby your office building has to be flexible as well as adaptable, meaning that let's say you're talking about your meeting rooms, kawan-kawan, meeting rooms. You have one small meeting room, big meeting room, and whatever. Okay, in the current situation, normally they will have a flexible wall. Okay, that can be converted. So that's what it meant by flexible and adaptable. Is it important? Very important. Because you can have a small discussion room or you can have a big meeting room, whatever you want it. Okay, and there's another modus operandi in regards of offices that is different from other building. Okay, there's one building that they actually share the common features. All the meeting rooms, all the discussion room, and all this whatever you call it, small discussion, big discussion, one big meeting, one floor dedicated for all these common meeting rooms and whatnot. Okay, they've got this one floor, meaning that the rest are all the officers, whatever unit, whatever department and whatnot. So when they want to handle any meeting, they will go down to this dedicated floor. Okay, so you need to book in advance, but they've got plenty there, so not to worry. You always have one extra discussion room available for you. Okay, so that's another modus operandi, which is quite good. I quite like the ideas. Okay, you're talking about common meeting rooms, discussion room and stuff like that. Okay, so that's the characteristics of the office buildings. Okay, when you're talking about this industrial space, there are so many new things coming up. Okay, some of the industrial spaces, they're talking about office as well. Some of the industrial spaces, they're talking about warehousing. Some of the industrial spaces, they're talking about R&D facilities, you know, all sort of things now coming up. Okay, and some they talk about this hybrid space, this hybrid space. Okay, and some they talk about this industrial, which is built in the business park. Okay, and it meant to be a warehouse as well as the distribution activities. You know, all this has been joined together. Okay, in such a blurry definition. Okay, there's no such thing as a concrete definition for both the industrial as well as the warehouse. Okay, so if you read different books, different book will tell you about different things. Okay, there's no right or wrong answer. It's how they characterize the industrial as well as the warehouse building. Okay, when you're talking about industrial, maybe some of it they will actually differentiate between the building types. Okay, it can be a solely meant for manufacturing, or they are actually a warehouse and distribution, or they have a flexible space for offices as well as showrooms, or they have their R&D facilities. Yeah, it depends on how they go about it. Another thing is about ownership and management. Why we put ownership and management? Because some of the industrial and warehouses is being built by the company. It's been built by the company and owned by the corporation. So they might not have a standard buildings, a standard buildings. Maknanya they buy the land, they build their own. So therefore, when you are looking at their design, whatever is their spec, their own specification, okay, according to their own, nothing to do with other people. Okay, some they do have the standard specification, so you will see the same building, the same that been built by the developer, but some they want to build on their own. Okay, so that's why you will see a different specifications as well. Okay, of course, design features, each building will have a different design features. Okay, you're talking about the building size, site coverage, you know, loading, unloading, parking, shielding heights. Shielding heights does play an important role, especially when you are talking about the distribution center, the warehousing and stuff like that. Nowadays, they built a very high shielding, very high shielding. Okay, some they do have these officers. Okay, there are finishes in regards of the quality of the finishes. Floor loading, floor levelness, all those technology or the plant and machinery that they use and stuff like that. Okay, so this is some of the characteristics of the industrial and warehouse building. You're talking about the parking bay, you're talking about to accommodate a bigger trucks, you're talking about stuff like that. So there are many categories. That's why we said that there's no one definition that fit all. Okay, There's no one definition. So different book will tell you about different things. And again, okay, we said that there's no right or wrong answer. It's how they define the characteristic of the building. Are there anybody waiting to come in that cannot join in, or everybody is fine? Okay, characteristic of warehouse and distribution buildings. Okay, this is the book by Deborah. I take this from Deborah. Okay, so they try to characterize according to the types, size, office finish, the ceiling height, the dock ratio, cooler or freezer if they have any. Okay, so like I said earlier, different book will tell you about different things. Okay, who is going to use your office and industrial market studies? Okay, why is it so important? Okay, so when you are looking at this market research analysis of office and industrial building, you will see that different stakeholder, you're talking about the developers, the owners, or maybe the local authorities or other agencies or other corporations would use it for different purposes. Okay. Let's say you're talking about developers. What do they want? They need to justify for new construction. You're talking about how to determine their types and space to build. Okay. What do the client want and stuff like that. Okay. The owner, they might want to embark into new development or new, you're talking about renovation program, they're talking about upgrading and stuff like that. Okay. Or maybe it's just a matter of they're trying to monitor the market, looking at the demand and supply. Any changes, anything that can be done, anything that can be improved. Potential buyer, they are talking about how to assist them in regards of the purchase decisions. Okay, you're talking about corporation, maybe they want to move from this existing place, they want to move to another market, looking at the suitable location. Okay, then you are looking at the tenants, they want to compare whatever that been offered by different landlord, for example. Okay, you are talking about the officers from the economic development. They want to do the market research, looking at the competitiveness, looking at the potential development and stuff like that. So it assists them in whatever purpose that they want to do. Okay. Right. Preparing on the office and industrial market study. If you want to prepare all those things, okay, is similar to whatever that we have done previously. Similar. Although the only things that differences here is in regards of the demand. Later we are going to look at what are the differences in regards of offices as well as the industrial. But basically the process are all the same. Okay, we still use the 6 steps. Okay, the only thing is that it's going to be tailored to whatever sectors that we are in. If you're talking about residential, different. If you're talking about retail last week, different. Okay, now you're looking at the offices, it's going to be different. Same goes with the industrial, but the process are all the same. Okay. Right, supply and demand analysis of office space. So what happens now is that when you're talking about office space, it can be as simple as possible or it can be as complex as possible depending on certain criteria. Here I put on the data availability. You're talking about the level and detail of the analysis as well as the ability of the analyst. Okay, and when you are talking about the demand and supply analysis, normally we look at 3 basic things. One is the supply analysis. Second, you are talking about the economic base. And third, you are talking about the demand analysis. Okay, what happened in regards of your supply analysis? You are estimating the space in the existing buildings. Okay, existing buildings. Maknanya you are looking at all the available data in regards of the newly completed building. You're talking about the planned or the proof building, which is in the pipeline. Okay, all this you will have to collect and estimate accordingly. Supply side, not a problem. Supply side is not a problem. Okay, then you are looking at the demand analysis. Okay, when you are looking at the office space, your demand analysis would be slightly different from any other sectors. Why? Because now it's important for you to collect information in regards of the employment, in regards of the population, in regards of the income trends, as well as estimating the future trends from these variables. So therefore, we will have the so-called economic-based analysis, okay, where you get your data from the Jabatan Perangkaan Negara, statistical department, okay, all these future, what do you call it, growth of this future demand for the employment. You are talking about a certain sector, okay, depending on which apa kita panggil kalau kita kata which sector of this employment that you are looking at, okay, which sector. Sebab you are not looking at all the sectors, isn't it? Are you looking at oil and gas? Are you looking at education sector? Are you looking at which sector are you looking at? Okay, because we are talking about office space. Okay, particularly if you want to focus at which sector. Okay, interestingly here, if you were to look at the last first statement, because the future is unknown, the best that real estate analysts can hope is to make a conservative forecast, solidly grounded on current realities. We cannot go beyond that. Okay, let's say you are so adventurous. Okay, let's look at this supply and demand analysis in the next 10 years. Okay, that's too long. Tak boleh. Tak boleh. Okay, that is too adventurous. We are going to be very conservative. Okay, try and look at things in a smaller scope first. Okay, because you see, that's why kita tulis kat situ, solidly grounded on current realities. You can, okay, if you say that you can do it in the next 10 years, fine. But again, it can be debatable because you're talking about accuracy here. You're talking about how do you manage the growth year by year in regards of employment. How do you incorporate that towards the uncertainty of the economics, maybe? Okay, uncertainty of the economics. How do you incorporate that in your forecast, in your analysis? So that will be mainly the issues that will crop up in regards of your analysis. If you want to forecast, okay, something that is unknown. Okay, so basically that's what the supply and demand analysis of office space is all about. Okay, this is some of the simple steps. If you are looking at the demand and supply of offices, again, we know that when you are talking about defining the demand, you need to know which segment. This is what I said. Okay, if you are talking about employment, which sector are we talking about? Is it the financial? Is it the education? Is it the oil and gas? What is it that we are talking about? We need to define that. Okay, is it important? Very important. Because everything, whatever that you forecast, okay, the information that you get might be from the third party. Okay, surely from the third party. Okay, and from this third party forecast, you will have to look into the growth of the employment, the growth of the population in each demand segment. Okay, you evaluate the forecast, you find information on the square footage, on the acreage of occupied real estate, you find the demand parameter, okay, you conduct the sensitivity analysis, analyze the future growth, then only you be able to get the whole lot, the demand and supply analysis. Okay, looks simple but not so simple. Okay, looks simple but not so simple. Okay, all these need data. That's why first and foremost just now we have actually identified saying that depending on the availability of data. Okay, availability of data. Right. How about industrial property supply and demand? Okay. This is interesting because, like I said earlier, okay, different sector will have a different approaches, different challenges, and etc. Okay, and for this industrial property, this is one of the most difficult property types to forecast. Okay, therefore, is least studied property type. Okay, industrial least studied property types. Industrial is very, very unique kawan-kawan. In fact, if you are the estate agent, your focus is towards industrial. This is the unique properties whereby if you want to do your marketing, if you want to sell your marketing, normally it's one-to-one approach. It's one-to-one approach. You didn't do your flyers and give it to any Tom, Jack or Harry. No, you normally set appointment. You meet the business entity or the manufacturer itself. Okay, and again, another unique thing about these particular properties, if you are the estate agent for these industrial properties, your client, your future client, your potential buyer from this manufacturing company, they know what they want. They already have the specification in mind. Okay, so when you go and meet them, they actually have their own list saying that this is what our requirement are. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Do you have this? Okay, if you do, then you say, oh yeah, I do. Okay, but this one is slightly different. This one will be bigger or whatever. Okay, all right, set. I want to view the properties. You see, as simple as that, because they know what they want. Unlike if you were to bring your residential potential buyer for the residential. Okay, you will view the property, bring them, visit here and then whatnot, you know, and they say, I don't know, maybe I think about this, you know. Can you give me some time? Let me think about it. Let me discuss it with my family, whatever. Okay, but industrial properties, they are different. They know already what they want, so that is very interesting. Okay, and once you bring them to the site and they actually like it, it close deal, as simple as that. Okay, but you must know who to meet. You must know the networking of these so-called industrial properties. Okay, so normally you will co-broke, you will normally meet or have listing, share listing with other estate agents and stuff like that. But this is very interesting. Okay, very, very interesting in regards of industrial properties. Okay, right. What happened now is that when you are looking at this supply and demand analysis of this industrial product, okay, you need to actually estimate the supply. Okay, supply here you are looking at this listing of what's in the pipeline, okay, and whether or not your supply and your demand is actually in excess. If you're talking about you have it, you know, and most of this so-called industrial zone is still empty. Okay, meaning that you have the sign of in excess supply, so there is no or little prospect for this demand of the industrial space. Okay, you are not looking to build for another one and stuff like that. Okay, you need to look at how is your supply now that you have existing supply. Okay, you will have a few industrial zone. Okay, if you are the estate agent that focus on this industrial zone, you will know which one is good, which one is coming up, which one you know already. Okay, and again, when you are talking about your potential buyers, you know already. If you are in the market, you know who's uh, who's looking for the new location, okay, who is expanding and stuff like that. Okay, So that's what's interesting about this industrial properties. Okay, unlike any other sectors. There are factors that influence your industrial property. Okay, of course, you're talking about the general economics. Okay, the ups and downs of the economics. You're talking about the condition, the population size and growth, demand for the manufacturing base. Okay, especially towards the consumer goods, the government policies. The government policies is important here, ya kawan-kawan. Why? Because the government policies sometimes they give initiative to all these manufacturers, to all these warehouses and stuff like that. Okay, they give them the incentive, and this particular incentive normally would be the one that the manufacturer looking for. Okay, so it's a win-win situation. We want investment coming in, and this particular manufacturer, they also looking for what would be the incentive that you given is. Okay, what is it? Okay, is it in terms of taxes? Is it in terms of what are you giving us? Okay, so it's important here. You are talking about the best for you to estimate the space supply is directly from the relevant authorities. Simple. You go to the relevant authorities, yep, you can get the listing of the supply. Okay. Like I said earlier, if there's excess in supply, so meaning that there's not much that you'll be able to do. Okay, the only thing is that find new potential buyers maybe. Okay, find new potential buyers. Okay, another thing is that when you're talking about this property demand, it will be based on the employment changes. Okay, employment changes. Basically, your focus will be on manufacturing, wholesaling, as well as construction. Okay, all these statistical models, maybe it can help you towards estimating the growth in regards of total employment, manufacturing employment, etc., etc. Okay, and some will use this so-called econometric models. Okay, in order for you to calculate the estimated future demand. Okay, so that's about the um, industrial properties. Okay, not yet Q&A. I want to show you some of these not yet Q&A kawan-kawan. Okay, this is the Kuala Lumpur offices. Okay, Kuala Lumpur offices. This one by Sables. Okay, they start off with the unemployment rate. Okay, it seems that we are at peak in Q2 5.1, so then it go down 4.7 in Q3. Okay, what else important when you're talking about offices? These are the office stocks. Okay, office stocks of the light blue is the KL suburban. Then you have the KL city center, which is the darker one. Then you have the whole of Lumpur. Okay, this is on the Kuala Lumpur office stocks. This one is the new supply in regards of the offices. Okay, the new supply. Okay, we've got quite a lot here in regards of this KL city. This one is the grade A office supply as well as the vacancy rate. Okay, the light blue is the grade A office space. Okay, and these are the vacancy rate. Okay, the vacancy rate from this diagram, grade A office space. So what is it? The grade A listing. You will see Q3, that's about a little bit over 40 million square feet. 40 million square feet. That is the grade A office supply. A office supply. And the vacancy rate is about 25%. That 25%. It's about 25% vacancy rate. This one is on the asking rent. Okay. Tapi later I will show you another diagram on the asking rent in regards of the Asia. Okay, these are some of the major office transactions. Okay, KL suburban as well as Selangor. Okay, but their buyer are all the REITs. Okay, siapa yang buat REITs ni tahulah kan. Okay, their buyers are all the REITs company. All the REITs company. Okay, this is on the offices. Offices. Okay, this is the office market, kawan-kawan. This is the office market. Okay, where is Malaysia? Where is Malaysia? Is it going up in regards of the market cycle? Is it going down? Where is it? Kuala Lumpur. Early downsizing. Okay, you look at Taipei and Manila. They are actually late upswing. They call it late upswing. Ours is going down. Going down. Early downsizing. Early downsizing. This is the total occupancy. Top 5 average cost. Okay, the highest is Hong Kong. Hong Kong. Hong Kong. How much Hong Kong? 242 USD per square meter. 242 USD. Kuala Lumpur? 26 USD per square meter. Very cheap ma. People can come here and invest. People can come here and do businesses. See, as compared to Hong Kong. As compared to Hong Kong. Okay. Then you have Tokyo, Beijing, Seoul, Osaka, etc. etc. Beijing pun very expensive kawan-kawan. That's quite interesting lah. This one is the total occupancy. This one dah retail, tak nak. Retail tak nak. Another one kot. This is another one in regards of offices. Offices, tapi tak shock sebab you see that when they have all this a lot of write-up, I don't like things with a lot of write-up. I like things with figures, you know. Of course, they try to compress in 2 pages of a report, but tak apalah kan, macam mana. You see, mana tak nampak lah dia punya. Tak best lah dia punya report dia kawan-kawan. Either my mata does not permit me to read atau tak tahulah.
Doktor.
How do you find this report?
Doktor.
What?
Nak tanya, you rasa which punya company mereka punya market research paling cantik?
Which one?
Nak tanya you lah. You rasa biasa baca siapa punya company punya market research report?
Oh, market research siapa yang cantik? Sometimes I like the CBRE. Sometimes I like the CBRE. Sometimes I say the original CBRE tau. The original CBRE. Yang coming ni, the CBRE dengan the WTW, isn't it?
Yes.
CBRE, they join with WTW, right? This one, I sell them because they are very new. Tapi the original CBRE, they have quite a good market report. They have quite a good market report. And another thing that I like is the one that I show you previously. I cannot remember what's the name, but that one is quite good as well. This one is quite good as well because they've done it in such a way that it's very thorough. Very thorough. They will look at region by region. So that's how I like. This one tak suka sebab tak tahu. You suka ke? Cuba you tengok.
Tak.
Cuba you tengok. Dia macam susah nak baca ke apa ke? Better yang tadi lagi. This one is levels kan. Dia fokus terus. Okay, so this is some of the examples kawan-kawan when you are looking at these officers and stuff like that. Of course, you will say that we have not actually go outside and we have not actually done all this market research and stuff. How do we know, where to get the data and stuff like that? Okay, you must remember that the program here, your real estate program, you are not going to be the expert yet. You are not going to be the expert yet, okay? Because you are not practiced yet, okay? So what happened is that this particular program will train you to be knowledgeable, So later when you join the company, when you join any corporation, okay, if they were to say, oh, we are going to do a market research in regards of officers, voila, okay, ring the bell. Yes. Okay. We've gone through the process, but we have never practiced because you are not the expert. They know that you are not the expert, but do you have the knowledge towards this? Yes. Okay, so that's the difference. Well, students always questions me saying that this is not enough, we need to actually go out and collect our own data and do the market research. Then only we know what to expect. Yes, okay, but sometimes for the duration that you are in, 3 years, we cannot expect you to do all, but we are going to train you to be knowledgeable in that particular areas. Okay, so this is important. Jangan kata nanti you kata apa ni kita tak buat pun, manja tu kita nak tahu. Memang tak tahu pun. Okay, tapi we train you to be knowledgeable in whatever areas. Sama juga, you're talking about property development, you're talking about your facilities management, property management, you have not yet have the experience outside, but you are knowledgeable in that particular area. Alright? Okay, questions. Baru boleh Q&A. Sorry. Q&A. Lemah dah. Petang-petang bulan puasa. Luna. Did you pass or not? Puasa tak? Luna, where are you?
Okay.
Puasa tak? Intermittent fasting mah. Puasa tak? Tanya orang puasa. Saja je tanya you all kan. Okay, cepat questions. Yes.
Kan last week kita belajar pasal retail spaces kan. Now kita pasal office. Bukankah dia macam dalam kategori sama which is commercial?
Dia dalam kategori yang sama tapi sektor dia berbeza. Because when you are talking about retail, dia punya target market dia berbeza. When you are talking about offices, again target market dia berbeza. That's why they try to differentiate between all these different sectors of the real estate.
Faham.
Memang kategori dia sama. Kan? Sebab when you are talking about retail, okay, you must bear in mind you have a few types of retailing. Are you talking about the food? Are you talking about what types of retailing? Are you talking about the mega shopping malls? Are you talking about out of town shopping mall? Are you talking about the neighborhood shopping mall? Itu semua different categories altogether, kawan-kawan different categories altogether. Let's say you're talking about Mitsui. Mitsui is what type of category? The place where you shop, man. Where you shop, man. Mitsui near KLIA.
Design.
What type of category?
Mall.
Designer mall and
more for foreigners. I don't know. I'm not sure. Maybe designer mall good.
It's out of town shopping mall. It's freestanding mah. Freestanding. Same goes with JPO. Mana orang Johor ni. JPO.
Saya.
Out of town, isn't it?
Yes.
Isolated mah. Isolated. On their own. On their own, out of town. Different categories, different characteristics, different target market. Okay? Siapa target market dia? Pak Iqmal. Target market dia Pak Iqmal. Kan? Betul tak? Betul tak? How do they be able to get the so-called consumer? People come to this particular out of town shopping mall or designer outlet and whatnot. Okay, because they said that they are selling the so-called out of season product with a discounted price. So that is their selling point. Okay, so retail and office space different. Office pun different juga. So many things. You have the shop office. You have this purpose-built office building. You have these office complexes with the landscape and whatnot. Okay. Can you differentiate that? Yeah? No?
Boleh, faham.
Kan? Same goes with industry. You have the light, you have the medium, you have the heavy. But the most interesting of all is the SMI. Kan? That is industry. What is SMI, kawan-kawan? What is SMI?
Small, medium.
Medium industry. Yes. Small, medium industry. Why is it so significant? Why is it so different from any types of industries? This one you belajar dalam location theory. Land economics. Ashwin, ingat lagi ke?
I would say it's the back end of the bigger economics. So small and medium enterprises are backup for, not backup, the other end of heavy industries.
Okay, and?
No end, Doctor, tak ada end.
Alright. They are so significant, small medium industry, because location is not the issue. They can be at the back of your house. They can be at anywhere in a small area doesn't really matter. But the government actually recognized the small medium industry minus the location. Okay, unlike other industry, you're talking about small, they have a dedicated area. Medium industry, they have dedicated area. Heavy industry, they have dedicated area. But the small medium industry, no dedicated area. It can be anywhere. That's the beauty of this small medium industry. Tapi tak adalah dalam ni kan. Sebab it's not in the book kawan-kawan, because all the books come from the Mak Saleh punya version. Mak Saleh punya version dia tak ada small medium industry like us. Okay, like us, the small medium industry will actually buat kuih bulan, will actually buat kerepek, and that stuff, or shoes maybe. Okay, kalau kat Serdang tu you will find this small medium industry that actually buat small scale, okay, shoes and stuff like that. Alright, okay. Questions lagi? Ada?
One more.
What? Baru pukul 3. Oh, yes, please.
Kalau kita tengok past transaction macam dari Napi tu kan, adakah the past transaction tu boleh jadi, kita boleh refer sebagai demand dekat sebuah area tu?
As an indicative figure, boleh. As an indicative figure. However, you must bear in mind that when they produce the property market report, the one that in the report, walaupun dia kata Q2 ke, Q3 ke, Q1 ke, whatever, according to the years, okay, is actually not up to date information. The property market report yang you dapat tu is not up to date information. Okay, so that is why as an indicative, I said yes, you can use. However, you will actually cross-check with other source of information. Is it important? Very important. Okay, sebab kadang-kadang macam tu lah, macam kita kata lah. Sebab kita tak tahu, kalau dia kata Q2, maybe it will produce bila, backdated bila. Bila dia masuk data tu. You must bear in mind the transactions of real estate ni, it takes time, isn't it? Transaction tu for you to actually get it done. Okay, solid, habis dah, tak ada apa. Okay, it will take time. So it will take time to be in that report. So dah tak tahu berapa, backdated dah berapa lama. 6 months, 8 months maybe, we don't know. But as an indicative, yes, you can use. But you need to cross-check all the data again. Okay, right.
Cross-check.
How to cross-check? Let's say you're talking about what do you want? What sort of information do you want?
Macam retail spaces lah. Ataupun office.
A retail space, the supply you mean? Supply of retail space. If the supply of retail space, the best is the planning department. Planning department. They have the data. All the local authorities sebenarnya they have the data. Okay, all these the DBKL especially they have the data. Tapi kadang-kadang you must know who to contact. You must know who to see. They have this data. Why you're trying to find the data, is it?
Dia macam susah nak dapat contact tu lah.
Dah tanya ke belum? You have checked with the planning department? No check.
No, not yet.
Cuba try test. Cuba try test.
Lepas tu lagi aku nak tanya.
Okay.
Okay, kalau from the past session tu kan, can we like forecast for future, macam for future demand lah? From the past session tu kan, kalau ikut trend analysis boleh kan?
Boleh. You boleh agak lah. 2% growth ke whatever percent growth. But again, the difficulty is that we don't know what kind of market conditions is going to be. That's why kita kata it's very challenging there. We don't know what the market condition is going to be. If you will say 2% growth, maybe there's a growth, or maybe minus 2% growth. So that is why one of the ways that people normally do is people will look at the sensitivity analysis. Kan, you have the 3 scenario. Kan ada 3 scenario, right? Sensitivity analysis. Ada tak? Pernah come across tak? So the 3 scenarios tu lah. Boleh?
Faham, thank you Dr.
Okay, any more questions?
Doktor,
Semua orang puasa lah, ngantuk. Yes.
what is sensitive analysis?
Sensitivity analysis. We want to look at how sensitive are certain variables. Let's say you're talking about the current one, you have whatever that you have now. That is the current one. What if the market is going down by 10%, for example? Then you calculate minus 10%, what is going to happen to that variable? If you say, what if the market is so good, man, so good, okay, plus 10%. If the market actually grows plus 10%, what is going to happen to your other variables? Would that be sensitive to this particular environment? So normally you do that in your property development. Ada tak subjek? Property development ada subjek tak? Tak tengok you all punya study plan. Do you have property development as one of the subject?
Yes.
Dalam property development ada tak? Ada belajar tak? Ada kan? Or you don't use sensitivity analysis, you use crystal ball. Which one you use? You use crystal ball or sensitivity analysis? Either way. So there are many ways. One of it is sensitivity analysis. Some will use the software, the crystal ball. Crystal ball, I think kalau you tak ada that software, you can actually use the trial version. 1 week ke 1 month ke macam tu. You can use the trial version. Boleh juga. Okay, Minyo?
Yes, doctor.
Question. question.
Doctor, regarding
the yes.
Can we can our group have, after we do some part of our assignment, can we consult with you later on, just start to confirm with the content and whether we are doing right or not, just to assure.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Then
then you stay lah. You don't leave.
Not now. I mean later, because
not now.
Tomorrow we have interim. We have to prepare for that. Not now.
Oh ya ke? Okay. Alright. Okay. Just WhatsApp me whenever you feel like it.
No problem. Thank you, doctor.
Alright. Okay. Any more questions? So that's it. Oh, nak baca. Besok ada banyak test ke?
No, we just have a presentation.
Oh lah, presentation je, cakap je. Susah apa?
Kena prepare dulu.
Alright. I kena prepare. Alright, very good. Okay, any more questions? Kalau tak ada, group foto. Camera open. Awal buka. Kecil. Oi, Brian, apa salah berlari pula? Okay, buka foto, group foto. Yes. Group foto, come. Aminya, you at home or what? Where's your home?
PJ.
Dekat je. Group foto please. Open up your camera. Oh, nak pakai bedak